Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Monday, the 4th of August 2025. You're watching Morning Brew on Politics Social with me, Graham Hughes. I hope you're all well this morning. I'll have a look into the chat in a moment as soon as I get my name up. There you go. Graham Hughes, Politics Social. We've got Veg Pie in the chat. We've got K8 Nimbus. We've got Daylight M. We've got Lost Missionary. We've got Colin Baker in the chat as well. Blam Blam as well. We've got Liam Fairhurst and Paul Ewan. Lee Corn is in there. Hey Lee, how you doing, mate? And others. If you'd like to join them in the chat, it's very simple. All you need to do is hit the subscribe button, wait for a minute, and then you can opine sort of openly in the chat. Good luck with that though, because if you opine too openly and you're a massive transphobe or racist or misogynistic gobshite, then we will be doing away with you because we can't be asked. We can't be asked with shit like that. So welcome to the show. It's the silly season. We are nuts deep in the silly season at the moment in the UK and elsewhere around the world. So there's a few stories that I wanted to cover this morning. A big shout out to Chris C in the chat there as well. And Saz saying hi to Alistair. Hi, Alistair. So first of all, we're going to be talking about the world's $1.5 trillion plastic crisis. This is a story that's on the Guardian website, and this is just absolutely insane. We are living in a global plastics dystopia. The Lancet now confirms what many suspected. Plastics are not just clogging up our oceans, but they're also poisoning us from the womb to the tomb, from being hatched to being dispatched. We've seen a 200 times increase in plastic production since 1950. And don't forget, plastic is made from oil. Plastic is made from carnivorous. That means they eat meat. What are you talking about? Carbonaceous. That's it. Carbonaceous gloop. Carbonaceous slime, which is horrible and really bad for the environment and bad for us and bad for everything. We should just leave it in the ground. We don't need it. We can use alternatives, but for some reason everything has to be in a plastic bag. Everything has to be wrapped in plastic. Everything has to be wrapped in 7 layers of plastic. When you buy some sweets now, the sweets are individually wrapped in plastic. You go to is it Lidl where they sell like pain au chocolat, and not only do they come in a plastic wrapping, the individual pain au chocolats are wrapped in individual plastic packaging, and it's not recyclable. It's not recyclable. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. Plastic production has skyrocketed. It's gone from being an industrial marvel to a planetary plague. By 2060, it's estimated to have tripled again the amount of production of plastics, hitting over 1 billion tons a year. 1 billion tons of oil shaped into plastics that are pretty much indestructible. Single-use plastics are the main culprit: fast food containers, drink bottles, and packaging. And obviously, Trump is doing what he can to make it so that we have more and more plastic than ever before. So famously, he did a presidential order to ban paper straws because reasons. Because he got a paper straw once and it dissolved in his Coke before he finished drinking it. It's like, the problem there is just making thicker paper straws, mate. I don't think it... Anyway... And then you've got the health impact across the life cycle of plastic. Plastics are toxic at every stage: extraction as oil, making them, the use of them, the disposal of them. They're made from fossil fuels. 98% of plastics come from gas, oil, and coal, and it releases the production of plastics releases over 2 billion tons of CO2 annually, more than Russia, the world's 4th largest emitter of CO2. And this is leading to diseases and death at every age. According to Professor Philip Landrigan, a paediatrician and epidemiologist, plastics contribute to increased miscarriages, stillbirths, and premature births. Also, birth defects, impaired lung growth in children, fertility problems, cancers, and strokes later in life. They're particularly harmful to vulnerable groups such as infants, children, and pregnant women. Microplastics in your body break down into micro and nano particles that enter the body via food, water, air. They are found in people's bloodstreams. They're found in people's brains. Something like 1% of your brain is now plastic. Breast milk, placentas, bone marrow, and even semen. There's plastic now in your semen. Yeah, Trump put that there, and his $1 billion Trump payment people. What are they called? Oh yeah, the oil companies, the foreign slime companies. Yeah, they put that there. That's nice of them, isn't it? So the cost of all this is estimated to be $1.5 trillion. That's just the health cost. The health cost of all this plastic exposure across 38 countries. So that's not even all the countries in the world. Just 38 countries. They reckon it's going to come to $1.5 trillion. That is truly insane. 3 common chemicals. There's BPDE, there's BPA, and there's DEHP. Remember that? Write that down. That makes up much of that figure. And plastics seem like a cheap alternative to bamboo or to wood or to paper or to whatever. But the externalized cost is astronomical, and that's cost that we have to pay, not the petrostates, not the foreign slime companies, not the carboniferous gloop that we are force-fed. We're being force-fed this stuff. We have it in our brains now. We have oil derivatives in our brains, and it's fucking us up. And the recycling is a bit of a red herring in all this. Less than 10% of plastics are recycled globally. A lot of plastic just ends up in developing nations on the beaches there. You look at somewhere like Ghana, which takes in so much of our garments, our fast fashion as we call it, from Shein and Primark, and they're drowning in it. And this is stuff, a lot of it, that isn't cotton. It's made from polyamides. It's made from polyester and materials that are derived from oil, from foreign slime. And they're pretty much indestructible. They're half the stuff that gets recycled by being sent to Ghana gets resold as clothes for people to wear in Ghana, and countries nearby like Cote d'Ivoire and Togo and Burkina Faso. But the actual number of people who are suffering because of this, because of these waste mountains of plastic clothing that's piling up, it is astronomical. You're talking about millions of people in Ghana are now suffering because of plastic, because of our consumption of plastic, because of our consumption of fast fashion. Let's call it fast fashion, but also a little bit fascist. And the Harusi Sumiya 6650. Thanks. They're trying to hurt the fact that lithium batteries are toxic to produce, but oil, however, is just as potentially toxic. Oil's much worse. Oil is so much worse than lithium. Yeah, lithium's not perfect. No, in fact, no extraction of any mineral or any substance from the planet is a good thing. Like in terms of the environmental impact, or the impact on the health of the people actually extracting it, or the impact on the local community. I mean, look at Goma in East Democratic Republic of Congo, which I talk about a lot because it's where we get all our coltan from, which is Colombo tantalite, I think it's short for. And coltan is particularly valuable for all of our electronic products. So if you're watching this on a laptop, there's coltan in your laptop. If you're watching it on a phone, there's coltan in your phone. If you're watching it on a TV, there's coltan on your TV. And probably that coltan was sourced near Goma in eastern DRC. And the conditions that people are mining that stuff are absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. BHP Billiton and the other big mining groups, they don't care. They don't care about the individual, what's happening to them. It's really, really grim. Hemp can replace some plastic. Yep, that's another example, Alistair. Thanks. Yeah, hemp as well. Hemp, bamboo. What you really want is something that's sustainable, that you can grow each year. And what we can do is we can get rid of all the fields growing stuff that we don't need, like tobacco. Like vast swathes of countries are given over to growing tobacco, the only product that's legal in the world that kills you if you use it correctly. And this this use of land seems mad to me, when we could be growing, say, hemp, or we could be growing bamboo, or we could be growing some other alternative to making fabric, to making material for clothing. Cotton as well. I mean, cotton is natural. It grows. Cotton clothes are better for you, not just because, you know, you're not getting exposed to microplastics and nanoplastics, but also a lot of like skin rashes and things like that are caused by people wearing clothes that are made of oil, because your body's like, no, what is this foreign slime all over me? I don't like it. It's why they often say you should wear, you know, natural fibres as much as possible. The problem is the likes of Morrison's introduced paper bags, but they were charging more for them than their plastic counterparts. Yeah. Chris C says, I just read that Ofwat is going to be spending £75 million of taxpayer money telling the public how to use less water while continuing to do nothing to make the water companies combat their network leaks. Oh my God. Chris, that's just going to annoy me. Hey, listen, before we go on, I don't know if any of you have been on the BBC website so far this morning, but don't. Okay, go on the Guardian or the CNN or wherever you get your news from. Please don't go on the BBC news site, because there is one particularly disturbing story on that, and I guarantee it's going to fuck the rest of the day up for you. I guarantee it. Do not even reading the headline of it is really going to mess up your day. So just don't. Just don't. There's not anything that anything that I can do about it or you can do about it. So yeah, it's one of those stories where I'm like, oh no, I can't even with this. Oh, just hit me table. Get to the point 15 minutes into the show where I realise I've not brought any water. And I could do with some water. Oh well, I'll be croaking like an old croaky frog, like a frog-faced frog, frog-throated, frog in a throat. Mofo by the end of this show. Okay, less than 10% of plastics are recycled globally, and the industry in petrostates like Saudi Arabia insist that recycling is the solution because it protects production, but chemically complex plastics are fundamentally unrecyclable. You can't recycle them, and this is why petrostates like Saudi Arabia are really pushing for this whole let's recycle plastic thing, because they know it's nonsense. We're best not making the plastic in the first place. That is the best option. Captain Coconut, thank you so much for the £10 super chat. That is really kind of you. I've got terrible tinnitus at the moment. Herr Fromage was seen in a music store recently inquiring about a new synthesizer for his upcoming rallies. He was very surprised they did not sell a Nazi one. Yeah. When I was driving tankers, I used to take waste oil from Port Talbot Steelworks to Scunthorpe and Stockton-on-Tees. Horrible stuff. Yeah, waste oil. Well, all oil is horrible. When it's taken out the ground, it's horrible. When it's petrol, it's horrible. When it's tar, it's horrible. We smear oil all over the landscape. We smear oil all over the landscape. And I'm like, why are we even doing this? Oh, so the cars can go fast. I don't give a shit about cars. I think cars should be made to go slower. I think the maximum speed limit of a car should be 20 miles an hour. Obviously, we'd have to wait till the trains are all put in place before we do this. But just encourage people to get the train, because it's faster to get the train. It's like 6 hours faster to get the train. There you go. And cheaper. I don't know how they're going to work that one out, but there you go. Why can't it be recycled? Because, so there's polymer chains. Look, I'm not an expert on this, but as far as I'm aware, plastics are made by polymer chains. And once those chains are broken, you can't stick them back together again. It's a bit like that. They're a one use only type thing, and the more complex the chain, the more one use only it is. So only a small amount of plastic can actually be recycled into anything. And when a lot of this stuff is recycled into something, it's weaker plastic. So you got your virgin plastic, if you want to call it that, the first use of it. That's really good at what it does. And then you have a sort of, the recycled stuff will be a lower grade. So you've got fewer things you can do with it because it just won't stay together as the bonds will not be as tight as they are with virgin plastic. Or you just throw a load of virgin plastic into it. So it's 90% virgin plastic and then 10% recycled, and then you can kind of get away with it. So it says, Graham, I was only a small cog doing a job. Don't hate me. My dad got me the job. No, not at all. Not at all. I'm saying that it's a grim job. Like, honestly, horrible stuff. Like waste oil. I mean, going on one of these big cargo ships and seeing just how much oil they burn is just mind-blowing. And it's bunker oil. It's like the worst grade of oil, and they separate it out themselves into some form of diesel, I guess, to run the engines, and the rest they dump into the ocean. They're not allowed to dump it in the ocean too close to land, but as long as you're far away from land. Chris says, polymer chains, once broken, can't be reformed. Some plastics can be recycled. However, polymer chains will degrade a few times, rendering it useless. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying, Chris. I hope. Was that what I was saying? I don't know. That's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to spit out. So yeah, this recycling thing, it is a bit of a red herring. Greenwashing, you might call it. And the thing is, with paper, glass, and metal, they're all kind of a lot more recyclable. I mean, metal in particular. Aluminium is amazingly recyclable. You are so much better off getting an aluminium can of Coke than a plastic bottle of Coke. It's so much better for the environment if you have the choice. And plus, no one needs to drink half a litre of Coke in one sitting, okay? And the sugar amounts on the plastic bottles of Coke that you get, the buddy bottles they call them now, the plastic bottles of Coke that are half a litre, they give the amount of sugar for half of that. Because they say it's 2 servings, they say it's 250 ml servings. Very cunning of them. So you look at it and go, oh, it's only 30% of my recommended daily sugar for the day. Oh, it's all right. No, that's just 60%. If you drink the entire bottle, that was 60% of your recommended sugar intake. So do you think that Trump and his mates is mates with Make America Healthy Again? They're going to do anything about this? Are they? They're not going to do this because they're paid by the petrol states. They're paid by Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia gave, what was it, $2 billion to Trump's son? Yeah, corruption in plain sight. But what about Biden's son and his laptop? Took a picture of his knob or something. So you got on one hand one son from one president who took $2 billion from the Saudis, and then on the other hand you've got another son from another president who took a picture of his cock. And what gets more inches of new space? Yeah, obviously the Biden, what did Trump call it? The laptop from hell. Obviously there's been lobbying sabotage in the foreign slime corporations. We've known this for years. Over 100 countries want a global cap on plastic production. The plastic industry and petrostates are fighting back, swamping negotiations with lobbyists, as we see at the COP summits, which are completely useless now because it's just full of oil people. It's full of foreign slime people making deals over foreign slime. And the sixth and possible final round of UN negotiations is now under threat. And The Guardian has revealed how these lobbyists are sabotaging talks from the inside. There's a transparency nightmare here as well. There are over 16,000 chemicals used in plastics. 16,000 chemicals. More than 16,000 chemicals. Flame retardants, stabilizers, colorants, many unlabeled and many toxic. Manufacturers don't want to disclose what chemicals are present. And the result, we are guinea pigs in the largest unregulated chemical experiment in human history. And from the top of Everest to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, from Challenger Deep in the Pacific Ocean, 11 kilometers down, and from Everest, which is 8,848 meters up. I think that's right. Full of plastic. Full of plastic. There's 8 billion tons of plastic waste. It's everywhere. Plastic litter is helping disease-carrying mosquitoes to breed. Half of unmanaged waste gets burnt, and that pollutes the air even further. And it's already been polluted by the making of the oil and the burning of the oil. And then they burn the plastics. And what do they say when you put plastics on the bonfire? No, don't burn the plastic, Graham, because it's toxic. And I'm like, oh, really? Is it? Yuri Infectinov, thank you very much. Floris is giving a mediocre blow so far. Well, I was trying to do a pun on Florence and the Machine because it's Floris but then I was trying to do a pun also on Yaz and the plastic population. So the title of the show ended up being a mixture of the two. I hope it works. I don't know if it does. I just couldn't think of a word that rhymed with Yaz that was applicable to what's happening in the news today. Sorry about that. Probably lost some super chats there by my rubbishness at coming up with a good pun this morning. Look. Plastic pollution, that's just to finish off this topic. It's a global genocide. It is, in slow motion, driven by corporate greed, petrostate lobbying, and the foreign slime obsessives. The people least responsible for this, the kids, the poor, the global south, are the people who are suffering the most, as always, in these situations. So let's move on. Let's talk about Trump's assault on the truth. I hate to talk about Trump. I think half my viewers leave when I start talking about Trump, so I'll be really brief on it. So basically, last week he fired the Bureau of Labour Statistics chief, Erica McEntafar, for releasing jobs data that didn't fit his fairy tale economy. This is another step towards total control of America, something that I've talked about a lot on this channel and said, look, it's over. Like, anyone hoping for a happy ending for this just haven't been paying attention. America is fucked. In fact, it is foobarred. It is fucked up beyond recognition. And, the BLS is not just any old bureau. The Bureau for Labour Statistics is widely regarded as the most trustworthy statistical agency in the world. And its job is to collect and analyse employment, wage and productivity data, the numbers on which economies are built. And Trump's firing of its top official because the numbers don't suit him. It's not just economic suicide. It's honestly insane because we've seen this before in other countries. We've seen it in China where they've made up figures. We've seen it in Argentina where they've made up figures. We've seen it in Greece where they made up figures. The government invented figures, and what happened? A big fucking collapse in the economies of those countries. A big crisis caused by bullshit statistics. Bullshit statistics can kill because you enter into an economic depression and people die. The poorest die. Lobbying Graham to call it sludge, not slime. Thanks very much, Paul, for that super chat, my friend. That's very kind of you. Sludge. I prefer slime. I prefer slime because it's like, it's got no good connotation, slime, has it? I should call it carbonaceous slime. Carbonaceous slime. Okay, I'll call it carbonaceous rather than foreign. I'm trying to get the meatheads on side by calling it foreign because they don't like things that are foreign, do they? David Faulkner, thank you so much for the 38 Hong Kong dollars. Hong Kong has banned the use of single-use plastics in favour of reusable alternatives. A drop in the ocean, I know, but it has been effective here. Yeah, something that I want to see in the UK as well. Obviously, we've got the plastic bag tax. That meant that we had to pay for our plastic bags at the supermarket, couldn't get them for free anymore, and that really did have a huge difference, made a huge difference to our habit to go in the supermarket. Now I don't go to the supermarket unless I've got maybe reusable bags and also a quid to put into the trolley, or a euro. Euro also works. Also, a few other coins from different countries work, or you can get like a key fob thing that you put in there to get you. Anyway, the point being, I've got to make sure that I've got me bags and me quid before I go, and me wallet before I go to the supermarket. It's not a big deal. Like, you just hang your bags off the back of the trolley and do your shopping anyway, and then you've got bags at the end that you reuse. It's just a slight, I mean, I wouldn't even call it an inconvenience. Do you know what? Having a drawer stuffed full of 17,000 plastic bags in Sainsbury's or Tesco's or Lidl or whatever, that's more of an inconvenience for me. Paula, thank you so much for the amazing £30 super chat. That's really kind of you. I'm going to try and get rid of my hiccups while I appreciate Paula Thomas's huge contribution to the show this morning. That is really, really amazingly kind of you. Thank you. There are two broad types of plastic: thermoplastic materials and thermosetting materials. Thermosetting materials cannot be recycled. They form permanent links between the polymer chains. Thermoplastic materials do not. Oh, there you go. Now we know. Oh, is Mike in the chat? Hello. Trump wants to massage the figures without the happy ending. Hey! Is Mike Dix in the chat? Did someone say Mike Dix is here? If Mike Dix is here. Hello, Mike. Hi. Maybe it's the other Mike. One Angry Pagan says carbonaceous or carboniferous. Well, I looked this up, right, and I prefer to say carboniferous because I'm more like, I've used that word before, whereas carbonaceous I've not used before, but they mean slightly different things. It's like, I want to say carbon-based, but that just means organic, like humans are carbon-based. So I need a word that means based on carbon. So I'll leave it to you. When I'm paying, do you think I should be using carboniferous or should I be using carbonaceous? Carbonaceous, which I find more difficult to say. So I'd rather not use carbonaceous. If people watching this are happy with me using carboniferous slime, I'm much happier to use that because I've heard the word more before. Chrissy, I'm furious that Maxwell has been moved to a lower security federal prison camp following her meeting with the AG. Justice hasn't been done in my eyes. Oh, of course it hasn't, Chrissy. I mean, look, I've got this philosophy now that I'm trying not to get outraged by anything that happens in America because it's gone. It's gone. Like, there's no survivors from what's happened to America. Whatever you thought America stood for, whatever Americans thought Americans stood for in the past, it's gone. It's over. It's kaput. It's capiche. It's... Carboniferous is a geological period. Yes, One Angry Pagan. That's what it said when I looked it up. I wanted a word that meant based in carbon, and it said I couldn't use carboniferous because that refers to a geological period. So yes, carbonaceous. Carbonaceous, we're going to have to use that, I'm afraid. Dead, rotted trees and plants, says Pygmalion. Yep, because in the carboniferous period, there was no fungus, was there? That was the problem. So everything that was alive on land and under the sea just basically turned into oil or coal or gas. Carbonaceous refers to the material composition largely being made of carbon. I'll use carbonaceous. Okay, I'm going to use carbonaceous. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Says Noob. Agreed, Ray. America I loved is dead. I feel sorry for the people. I feel sorry for the people there. Like, honestly, they're going after Jack. Shit, what's his name? Jack Smith? Shit, I've forgotten his name now. What is wrong with me this morning? Sorry, I'll be back in a moment. Was it Jack Smith? It was Jack Smith. Yes, Jack Smith, the ex-Trump prosecutor. He is, Trump has set the dogs on him and he's basically going to be investigated for going after Trump. The watchdog agency, the Office of Special Counsel, has launched an investigation into former Special Consul Jack Smith. Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll find out that he let Trump off, and doing for that. But I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen. I'm just going to bring up my colour a bit because I feel like I'm a bit like there's not much colour going on my screen here. Well, it just went up and then it went down again. Finally found out my where my settings are for making things better on my webcam. Because my webcam was a bit dark over the last few days. Bear with me. There you go. See that? Now that is too white. Oh, look at that. That's awful. No, that's awful. Stop that. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, bloody hell. Now I'm going to try and find the exact contrast that you need to make it look right. Ah, that'll do. I'm not feeling very colourful today. Anyway, so I shouldn't be adjusting settings while chatting to you good people. Sorry, I apologise. Even though Carboniferous is where we get the fossil fuels, it is. They fired Jack Smith's daughter, who was the prosecutor for Maxwell. Yep. Mike Higgins, if she's deported, she will be deported back to the UK. Do we really want her back in the UK? No, I don't have to pay for her. She should pay for herself, pay for her own prison. That's what I think we should do. Rich people, make them pay for their own prison. They have to build their own prison. You know, like what's his name? Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar had to build his own prison. Make them have to do that, but like don't allow them to have any say on the design. They've just got to pay for it. It's going to be designed for them, especially for them, and it's going to be horrible. It's going to be like they're always going to feel like they've got a bit of food between their teeth, always, and they'll never be able to get rid of it. There'll always be someone walking in front of them, walking slowly, and they can't get past them for eternity. Am I describing prison, or am I describing personal hells for people that I really dislike? You know, you want something that's like a minor inconvenience, but like just builds up over time, like Chinese water torture. So, moving on, we've got what was I talking about? Plastic crisis. Oh yeah, I was talking about Trump. So yeah, July's grim jobs report, it showed that the US economy only created 73,000 more jobs in July, and May and June numbers were also revised down by over 250,000 jobs. So it contradicts Trump's claims of a roaring comeback and a golden age. And yeah, this is how this is textbook fascism, undermining the integrity of neutral institutions, textbook fascism. And yeah, like I said earlier, Argentina, Greece, and China have all suffered from fake data crises, where like there's been a crisis created by fake data, which is what Trump wants in America, because he's being paid by the Soviets, he's being paid by the Russians to destroy America. He's doing a very good job of it. And this is Trump's Orwellian legacy. You know, what you're seeing and reading is not what's happening. That's what Trump said in 2018. He hasn't changed his mind on that, you know. The last ultimate command from Big Brother was to not believe the evidence of your own eyes and ears, which is what Trump is telling people to do. This is gaslighting on a global scale. I wouldn't even say biblical. It's bigger than that, because the Bible only just, comprises the geographical Bible. Comprises about 5 countries in the Middle East, maybe with a bit of Spain in there as well. Yeah, the world is much bigger than that. So let's say global. Let's say global gaslighting. So yeah, Trump's going to appoint a yes man to the Bureau of Labour Statistics. It would be a man, I guarantee it. To fudge the stats, and then who's going to believe them? No one. And if they fudge the stats, not just the Fed, but also the Federal Reserve, but also the people in Wall Street and stuff, they won't know what to bet on, because they won't know what's happening with the economic picture in America. They make bets on whether they think things are going to get better or things are going to get worse, if they've got no evidence to make those bets on. It's a bit like taking the form away from betting on horses. So there's no form, and you just don't know. How are bookies supposed to know whether to make something 2-1 or 20-1? They won't know, because they won't know the form of the horse. They won't know if they've won a load of races, or if they're sad Ken, they've only got 3 legs and they die of a heart attack in the first minute of the race. Pete says she ate cauliflower cheese but spat out the eggs. The waitress said, "Did you enjoy your food?" Mary said, "Super cauliflower cheese. The eggs were quite atrocious." Very good, Pete. I like that. Maxwell should be held in Supermax, maybe Super Maxwell. And Chris C is saying, held in solitary isolation, no human interaction, no privileges, just the bare minimum, and only allowed out for 1 hour a day, exercise in a concrete box. Yeah. I mean, Trump did worse, and he's president of the United States. I would say he did worse. So yeah, Trump is trying to replace reality with MAGA mythology, and the moment of truth, the moment truth becomes a threat to power, you no longer have a democracy. You just have a dictatorship with, I don't know, an advertising budget. Anyway, let's talk about Storm Floris. That's whacking the UK at the moment. Apparently, it's not blowing too much according to people in the chat, but the UK has been hit by a rare summer storm, bringing 90 mile-an-hour winds. This has led to cancelled ferries and trains and a ruined bank holiday for Scotland. It's a 6-name storm of the 2024-2025 season, and it's only August. So there's amber warnings over most of Scotland from 10 till 10 this morning till 10 tonight. And there's a yellow warning over Northern Ireland, Northern England, North Wales from 6 o'clock till midnight. And the forecast gusts are going to be 50 to 70 miles an hour inland, up to 90 miles an hour on coasts and highlands. Why are we getting these storms? Why are we getting these once-in-a-generation storms? Why are we getting them every year? Why are we getting a couple of them every year? Why are we getting them 6 of them every year? Does anyone know why? So LNER advises no travel north of Newcastle. Avanti West Coast have halted travel north of Preston. ScotRail has put speed restrictions across the network, and Network Rail has closed multiple Scottish lines. Calmac ferries have issued widespread cancellations, and there's dangerous coastal routes, warnings for caravans and roof boxes. The RSC has said be cautious with holiday loads such as trailers, tents and bikes. You know, the tent might go. It might be a 10-20. The tent might wenty. That doesn't really work, does it? And the military tattoo in Scotland, where they tattoo people, has been cancelled. The North Berwick's Fringe by the Sea has been halted, and Scottish Bank Holiday weekend plans have been ruined. Storm Floris is the first named storm since January, but 6th of the season. And this is after July 2025 was named the UK's 5th warmest July on record. So, any ideas why all this might be happening? Any ideas? Maybe it might be our obsession with carbonaceous slime. Maybe if we stopped the obsession with carbonaceous slime, we might, I don't know, live longer. Maybe we'll live longer. I don't know. She'll get downgrades to Maxwell House arrest. Don't let her borrow your coffee. Indeed. We own Maxwell. Nothing. Believes she became a US citizen. Is also French for a mother. Made her dirty bed lie in it. Yep. Chris says, sorry that seems like harsh treatment, but people who commit less heinous crimes are treated worse than she is. I appreciate that, Chris. But I mean, also at the same time, the fact that Trump, who was on Epstein's list, let's not forget, he's not releasing the Epstein list, and now all these MAGA knobheads who are like, oh, release the list, or like, oh, don't, I'm sick of hearing about this list, and I'm like, wow. Military tattoo is the end of August, is it? Okay, Chibs. Sorry, that was misinformation there from what I was reading. The tattoos will go ahead, and everyone will get a nice tattoo of the Elvish number 9. The big CC has started. The big CC, the big climate change, the big Clatterbridge conference, the big, I don't know, what's the big CC? Cubic centimetre. The big cubic centimetre has started. Right, let's have a look at the papers. We've not looked at the papers much on this show, have we? Just 1 second, because I think that if I come back over to here, things will happen. Right, let's go on to it. Okay. Oh, dude, that's not supposed to happen, is it? That's really not supposed to happen. You go away, Graham, big name there. That's me, by the way. I'm Graham Hughes. Hello. Also playing little animations. Cool. So, it's the silly season. It is the silly season. So, all the newspapers will have different stories. But let's jump into a few of them. We've got late night stack. Here's what you should eat in your late night snack. I can't talk today. According to the Times newspaper, we've got the millions of drivers in line for £950 payout over car finance scandal. And Polly Vernon saying, my Sex and the City wild days are over. Oh no, what a shame. What a disaster. Very sad about, I don't care. Universities to lose cash if students claim asylum. Ministers to tackle backdoor migration route. Universities will be barred from accepting foreign students if they fail to prevent their courses from being used as a backdoor for migrants claiming asylum in the UK. Oh, piss off. And there's Prince Andrew there, looking like he's got some kind of growth coming out the side of his mouth. Don't know what's going on there. Drives in Windsor as a book, claims Jeffrey Epstein sold his secrets to foreign spies. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? I guess. He should be in jail. He should be in solitary. Gobshite. Cool Britannia, with the Daily Telegraph there. Why fashionists love the Union flag. Well, I'll tell you why, right? And, this isn't just me being whatever, but it's a really cool flag. Look at the flags of the world, right? 50 of them are tricolours. They're just 3 colours in a row. They might be a row like this, or they might be a row like this. They're just 3 colours in a row. And it's so boring. It's like, oh, really? So the flag of Ireland is green, white, and orange, which means a lot to the people of Ireland, because it's the green of Ireland, the orange of the Orange Order, and the white of peace between them, apparently. But a harp would have been better. I know it would look like an advert for Guinness, but the harp is the symbol of Ireland as far as most people are concerned. Why not put that on your flag? The flag of... And then if you turn it upside down, it becomes the flag of... If you rotate it. If you rotate it 180 degrees, it becomes the flag of Côte d'Ivoire. And then you've got the flag of New Zealand, which should be the silver fern. It should be black background, silver fern. Everyone knows that symbol. It is the symbol of New Zealand. But now they decided to stay with the Australian flag, but with a couple less stars. One less star, and the stars have got red inside them and a white outline. But apart from that, it's the Australian flag. And they've got someone else's flag in the corner, which is ours. There are a few amazing flags out there that are absolutely brilliant. The South African flag, since 1994, has been insanely good. Like, that is one of my favourite flags in the world. I think it uses 6 different colours on one flag, and it makes it flow together. It is a beautiful flag. It's so well designed. The flag of Vanuatu, well worth a mention. Great flag. The flag of Macedonia, just no notes. No notes. The flag of the UK, I know we call it the butcher's apron, but it's a cool looking flag. It just, from a design point of view, if we could untangle ourselves from the historic associations as far as flags are concerned, it is a bitchin' looking flag. It really, really is. But unfortunately, it's been co-opted by the far right, and so it doesn't mean what we would like it to mean, which is, a symbol of our country. They've turned it into a symbol of racism. And for people around the world who suffered under the butcher's apron, I guess, not great either, because it's a symbol of oppression to them. So yeah, problematic if we are going to be, subjective about it. But if we're going to be utterly objective about it, it's a really cool design. It's a very, very cool design. Unlike the Olympics logo for 2012, which was shit. And the font they used was shit as well. And I'll fight anyone who says otherwise. Right, back to the Telegraph. Palestine action plot to swamp police. Supporters of terror groups plan to protest so big that justice system will be overwhelmed. Well, I mean, if that many people care about it that much, then maybe the government should do more to protect the people of Gaza from the absolutely atrocious behaviour of the security forces of Israel. Maybe. Grand old party's bright young star. This is Sydney Sweeney, who's been selling things. I mean, okay. She's now the face of republicanism in America because she's, blonde, blue-eyed, and she appeared in an advert which made fun of the fact that she's genetically superior to other people. Good. Nice one, Sydney. You've got a boy's name, Sydney. Sydney's a boy's name. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Drivers in line for £18 billion payout over car finance scandal, which I think is going to shake out to about £1,000 per person. Truss. Oh, there's feet at the bottom. Who puts feet on the internet for me to look at? I do not want to look at feet. I have a phobia of feet. Will you fuck off? Feet and spiders. I don't want to see either of them. Go away. Truss. Badenoch is not telling the truth about Conservatives' failures. Sure. This is Truss. Truss saying that someone else is not telling the truth. All right, love. We've got Maxwell's inmates hate sharing with her, not surprisingly. Teacher sacked after two-tier justice remark. Good. And unless they were talking about two-tier justice in that, it's if you're black or brown, you're much more likely to be arrested by the police than if you're not. And then we've got Ruman saying, I want 20 years as United boss. Okay. And then we've got Israeli minister sparks fury on Temple Mount. This is about, what's his name? Gobshite. What's his name? Ben-Gvir. He is a gobshite in the Israeli government who broke with a decades-long truce agreement that you don't pray on Temple Mount. And this actually goes for both Palestinians and Israelis, by the way. Whether you're Muslim or Jewish, you're not allowed to pray on Temple Mount. This is the deal. Well, we won't pray there. You won't pray there. Okay. You can pray at the Wailing Wall. You can pray in the actual mosque on Temple Mount, but outside you're supposed to not pray. Anyway, he went there and prayed because he's a gobshite and he's a terrible human being. He's gone, do you know what will help the situation? AI prompts graduates to change career paths, just above me here, which is fair enough. If you think that your career is going to be taken by AI, then don't do that career, I suppose, I guess. Then we're going to go over to the Mirror, which tells us that we're all heroes. The blood donor crisis is over. Shortages averted as Mirror readers come to the rescue. I feel terrible about this because I signed up as soon as I heard there was a problem with donations. They didn't have enough blood. I got in touch with my local blood doning. Is that even a word? I don't think so. I got in touch with my blood donation people in Durham, and they were like, yeah, we've got no spaces till September. And I'm like, I'm not going to be around in September. And they're like, well, sorry, that's the next time you can give blood. And I'm like, I thought you had an emergency on. Can I just come this afternoon? Can I just come today and give some? See, what you want to do, give blood, right? Not only do you get to, do the whole performative, aren't I amazing kind of thing, you also get free biscuits and orange juice, right? And not only that, if you go out after drinking a pint, right? I'm not suggesting you do this because it's dangerous, but if you go out after drinking a pint, after giving a pint, right, and you go and drink a pint of lager, you get really, really drunk. I hear some people have told me that. So, bonus, you can get drunk for a lot less money than it would otherwise cost you if you hadn't given a pint of your blood. Please don't do that. It's really bad for your health. I'm joking. Please do not go and give blood and then drink a pint of lager. Not the best of ideas. And then definitely don't get behind the wheel of a car. You're not supposed to operate machinery after giving a pint of blood or drinking a pint. Either's pretty bad for operating machinery afterwards. But so I couldn't give blood. I was a bit upset about that. A bit miffed. It's like, I want to give blood. I'm like, no. There you go. Everyone else is a hero, not me. Graham, everyone is a hero, but not you. And there's Andrew going, how Andrew used Trade Envoy to acquire his secret millions, the most devastating royal biography ever. He is just a fucking scumbag and should be in jail. Asbestos kills more troops than Taliban. National disgrace of how toxic MOD homes and equipment caused 9 times more deaths than 20-year Afghan campaign. Asbestos killed 9 times more military veterans than there were British victims of the Taliban during the Afghan campaign. Government records reveal exposure to the deadly material in poor military accommodation, ships, submarines and helicopters, and even tanks is causing an average of 89 cases a year of mesothelioma, a fatal cancer caused by asbestos. That is mad, isn't it? That is absolutely... Can we talk about asbestos for a moment? So to be clear, we knew in the 1930s that asbestos caused cancer. We knew in the 1930s. Guess how long it took for asbestos to be completely banned in the United Kingdom? Yeah, 60 years. It wasn't banned till the end of the 1990s in this country. Does that just blow your mind? Does that just absolutely blow your mind? Because it blows my mind. Well, it doesn't, because We saw that with smoking. We've seen this with oil. We've seen this with all these plastics, all these toxic things that we do every day. But not only that, the Trump administration in America has rolled back restrictions on production of asbestos that were brought in recently by the Biden administration to say, look, we need to protect people against asbestos because it kills people. Just wow. Wow, wow. Wee wow. Anyway, so that was the front cover of the of the Mail there. Next we'll go over to The Guardian. 10 times faster than the Industrial Revolution, Nobel winner Demi Sabus on our AI future. And 3 years of parenting and what I got wrong by Rhiannon Lucy Coslet. Rhiannon's, I've met Rhiannon. She's awesome. Millions in line for payouts over car finance mis-selling scandal. FCA proposes redress plan, but victims may get less than £950 each. So there you go. That was that $1 billion story you saw on the other page. Plastics crisis pose grave and growing health risk, which is the first topic of the day. Channel 4 film sparks move to ban barely legal porn. A new pornography task force will propose legislation aimed at banning a type of barely legal content produced by porn star Bonnie Blue. The Guardian has heard. Do you know who used to produce a magazine, a monthly magazine called Barely Legal? Anyone have Richard Desmond? Yeah, Richard Desmond, big donor to the Tory party. The ex-proprietor of the former proprietor of the Express during the Brexit years, when it was all like, yeah, let's all Brexit. The guy bankrolling Brexit, big roller of Brexit bankroller. Yeah. I mean, come on. Just 1 second, bear with me. Right, okay. Hopefully I might get a glass of water now. Thanks. Right, Nick is saying human labour won't be the key driver of productivity much longer. As AI advances, the cost of accessing knowledge / skills near zero. Traditional degrees, especially for desk jobs, are on borrowed time. I don't really see that. I don't. Thank you. I've been given a thimble. Cheers. It's either a very, very small cup or a very, very big Graham. One of the two. Oh, God, that's nice and cold, though. Oh, got another one. Thank you. Morning Brew with Graham Hughes. Chills. That's not cappuccino. That was cappuccino. It's not espresso. It's not espresso. That was water. We seem to have no glassware available. Anyway, I have asbestos floor tiles in my flat, which Housing Association refused to remove as they pose zero risk to health, says Chris. Yeah, asbestos is now. I have a friend of mine whose dad died of asbestosis. Can't send a super chat. Sending error. It's saying error. Oh no, that's really bad for you and for me, for both of us. Oh well. Razzle audio cut. I turn the audio off. That's why I said excuse me for a moment. But there you go. Okay, let's head back onto the Guardian front page here. We've got scene of chaos, dozens more killed in hunt for food as 6 starve to death. Another horrific scene in Gaza. And if you talk to people who are supportive of what the Israeli government are doing, they'll tell you that this picture here was posed for by child actors or something. I mean, come on. How daft do they think we are? Pretty daft, I think. Anyway, Daily Express, the aforementioned Daily Express, which was owned by a guy who made his fortune in the 1980s with a magazine called Barely Legal. Really sad story here about on Saturday night at an Oasis gig, a fan plunged to his death, which is just horrific story. And as Labour throws more money at smashing the gangs, Tory reforms warn. Oh God, sorry, I got the hiccups. An extra 100 million will not stop the boats. Joe, will stop the boats. A deal with the EU and safe passage. Like, if we hadn't Brexited, the boats wouldn't be here. Can we just make this very clear and say it over and over again until people listen? The reason why people are coming over on boats is because of Brexit. There is a direct line between us surrendering our deal with the EU on returning people coming over on boats, and no one bothered, because if you tried to come over here on a boat, we could just send you straight back to France. So no one bothered coming over on a boat before 2017. It was only after we pulled out of that the refugees coming over on boats. So, well, we may as well go over on a boat then. There weren't any people coming over in boats in 2016. There just weren't. They're not non-recorded. I mean, there might be some that sneaked in the middle of the night, but nowhere near the figures that we're seeing now. It's because of Brexit. It's because of the Brexit that the Gams wanted. And Hilgara 2085. Have you covered the protests at all? Will you? Thank you very much for being a member for 3 months, Hilgara. The Gaza protests, the anti-Trump protests, the other protests? I mean, the Gaza protests, I think, are being covered. I mean, I can do a whole show about it if you want. Maybe I should, actually. Which protests, Hilgara? Tell me. But yes, the protests against Trump in America. That'd be a fine thing, wouldn't it? I've had Israeli adverts on YouTube saying that hunger genocide is Hamas propaganda. Yeah. Diz, I've seen an advert where they blamed the hunger in Gaza on the UN. They said it was the fault of the UN. I couldn't believe it. I actually reported the advert for promoting genocide. Veg Pie, I still keep getting these pro-Israeli, anti-Gaza adverts on YouTube, at least once a day. They say pictures of starving gardens are fake and that Israel is sending in much aid. Yeah, the pictures are fake, apparently. The far-right protests. Oh, those protests. Is that what Hilgara means? Oh, the anti-immigrant protests. They're different this year. They're bigger. They're bigger. They're bigger and quieter. Sorry, Hilgara, I didn't know what you were referring to with the protests, because obviously there's quite a few protests going on. I'm not really looked into it, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of, I just hate the fact that no matter what these clowns like Trump and Farage do, no matter how much damage they do, they still have these willing dickheads who go out and follow their every word and think that they are, somehow sent by heaven to, I don't know, make Britain great again, make America great again, and you're just like, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I will look at it. Maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow. Mehdi Hassan has said recently that Israel has increased its Hasbra campaign, which is marketing to give Israel a good reputation. They hire podcasts, websites, etc. Yeah, we talked about this with the rather dodgy situation with the with Eurovision. Remember, they spent loads on adverts to try and promote their song, so it won Eurovision. So yeah. No one is illegal, says Diz. Yep, true. Hilgara, biggest anti-immigrant march yet in Newcastle, right next to our home. Yeah, this is something that the right wing can just latch onto, and they can blame absolutely everything that's going wrong in society on people coming over in boats. But they manufacture the situation of people coming over in boats in two ways. One, by fomenting war in other countries, cutting aid and making it, these places unstable, and paying to help Wagner Group and other, paramilitary groups, insurgencies do well in other countries, so that more people leave. Making it so that we pulled out of Afghanistan. Leaving it to the Taliban, meaning we created millions more refugees from Afghanistan, many of whom went into Iran, who are getting thrown out of Iran now, so they're going to be moving somewhere closer to the UK pretty soon, I'm pretty sure. And the other thing that we do is we've Brexited. The right wing have created this nightmare, and now they're saying to us, they're saying, oh, only we can fix it. But they have no solutions. They're just complaining about it, but they have no solution to the problem. The solution to the problem is giving safe routes to refugees, taking our fair share of refugees, which is something that we should do. Biggest is at hundreds now, says Harusi Sumuya, 6650. Immigrants don't know what the laws are, so illegality is fictional. Yeah, what about Labour blaming everything on the disabled? Roseanne, that's a good point. I don't think they blamed everything on the disabled. They just said, oh, we need 5 billion. Okay, should we take it from the richest, wealthiest, and most disgusting people in society, the billionaires? No, we'll take it from the disabled. Okay, Labour, good, nice one, well done. There was a Manchester counter protest that was smaller than the protest. That's a bad thing if that was a counter protest against the bigots. We'll go across to the Independent now. I'm going to wrap up in a moment. Because I've been chundering on far too long. I don't want an advert for Nissan. Piss off. Prince Harry denies hitting Andrew after claims in new book. Whoa! Prince Harry hit Andrew. Oh, I like him even more now. Car finance scandal, mis-selling victims in line for £950. Conversation under regulator's plan. Woohoo! Inside, this is going to affect me. A car finance, is it people who got a car on finance? I've never done that. Never had the money. Super chats are open for another couple of minutes, by the way. Inside Ukraine's most closely guarded secret. Well, it's not a secret anymore if you're showing a picture of it. Donald Trump support proves ever less reliable. Kyiv focuses on building its own weapons in the war against Russia. Top judges admit regret over unfair prison sentences. They back our call for injustice of infinite jail terms to be put right, as more than 1,500 inmates are still trapped behind bars. Just let them out. Let them out. So these public protection jails terms, which were scrapped in 2012, but not retrospectively, they left 2,500 prisoners without any release date. I mean, just forget it. It's been too long. Just let them out, for Christ's sake. Jesus, what a mad system. Have a look at what they were sentenced to again and what they did, and then work out a new sentence for them. That's right for the crime. Gongs for the Lionesses, which is good news. Lionesses there being awesome. Oasis fan plunges to death. Again, this terrible story about Oasis. The Oasis gig fell off the top tier. Mel B's second wedding. There you go. She's having 2 of them in a day. I don't think you can have two in it. And then we'll trot on to the Metro, but not before I say, oh, hang on. A big thank you to Ori for being a member for 13 months. 13 months, Ori, that's awesome. Can't stay long, but just wanted to say a lot of LGBT and mental health forums that I used to spend time on are blocked now under the Online Safety Act. Please sign the petition to repeal it. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realise that it was stopping people from getting onto LGBT and mental health forums. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Sorry to hear that, Ori. If one of the mods could find the petition that Ori's talking about, let's have a look at it. Racism and xenophobia need to be called out at every opportunity, but we also need to understand where these views and opinions came from as well. Oops. They came from lots of money. Lots and lots of money. Lots and lots and lots of money being spent on stuff. To make people think the way they want them to think, and it works very well. Okay, so next up we've got Rock Out on Jurassic Lark. There's a dinosaur in them there rocks, in them there hills. Rat horror for Hospital Grand. Terrified pensioner 82 sleeps with trap under her bed after rodent droppings found in her drawers. Jesus Christ, that's pretty fucking grim. Where is that? A grandmother has been left. 82 Medway Maritime Hospital in Kent. God, Kent's a godforsaken place, isn't it? But then again, people in Kent, they don't want to pay tax, so Someone's got to pay for it, I guess. The true cost of pulling the plug on US aid, as top story in the Guardian, the Financial Times here. Britain can't afford to miss this crypto wave. And then we've got well-stocked OPEC Plus sparks oil glut alert. The OPEC oil cartel announced fresh production increases yesterday, marking the end of its near 2-year-long strategy of propping up prices by holding huge quantities of crude off the market. I mean, the fact that, I'll go on about this, honestly, until it's over, until this madness is over, but the fact that we can be held hostage and the cost of getting somewhere, the cost of putting petrol in our cars or diesel, the cost of heating our homes, the cost of cooking our dinner goes up and down based on what these oligarchs, vicious, murderous bastards do on the other side of the world. And these Brexiters want to talk about, they want to talk to me about sovereignty, and they're happy to surrender their energy sovereignty to people who just do terrible things in other places. Absolutely mad. Okay, next up we've got the Financial Times here saying US data row builds poorest workers. US data row builds as poorest workers take hardest hit from wages slowdown. Best paid suffer least. That could just be the headline for everything, couldn't it? Best paid. Look at that. Best paid suffer least. That should be like the mantra, shouldn't it, for the far right, for the right wing. Best paid suffer least. Inequality damage grows and Trump erodes faith in figures and economists are alarmed. Not great. And then knives out for Swiss leader as blame game erupts over 39% tariff rate shock, which is really grim for people in Switzerland. They've been given a 39% tariff rate by Donald Trump. And the Swiss president, Karin Keller-Sutter, has been accused of grossly miscalculating the trade deal she thought she'd be able to secure. Other critics rounded on the vast pharmaceutical industry for sparking the ire of Donald Trump. It's knives out, a former Swiss diplomat said, which is funny because Swiss Army knives, Swiss Army, they come from Switzerland. Okay, Chris C, thank you very much for possibly the last super chat of the morning, because I'm going in a moment. That's very kind of you for the 10 good English pounds. Thank you for that. I would love to talk about the IPP scandal, having been in prison alongside those serving those horrific sentences, and can provide some insight into the harm those sentences have caused. That'd be really interesting to talk about, Chris, and thanks for the super chat. Because you're right. I mean, think about like how much it would fuck you up to not know when you were leaving, to not ever know when you were getting out, or if you were getting out, where you're going to spend the rest of your, nothing to look forward to. You know, all winter, no Christmas. Yeah, it's horrific, and the government needs to do something about it. And it could free up 2,500 prison spaces, which we desperately need right now. Induction, gas is best, but normal electric is shit. And induction is only good if you get a good setup. The cheap stuff is not so good. Low power is just pulses of high power, so it goes boil, stop, etc. Air fryers are great, but they don't really fry. They're just like fan-powered ovens. No, they're just like hair dryers. They're basically a heat element with a big fan behind it, blowing the air. And it's why they're called air fryers, because it sounds like hair dryers, I think. And that's why they called it that. They were like, should we call it a hair dryer? I said, no, because it's making food. Okay, let's call it an air fryer, because that sounds a lot like a hair dryer. But basically, it's a hair dryer in a box. Induction hobs can't be used by individuals with pacemakers or internal defibs. Really? That's really interesting, Chris C. Is that because of the magnets inside it? Because I know you can't use certain cooking things, you can't use certain pots and pans and frying pans and stuff on induction because it doesn't pick up that it's there. It's got to be magnetic, and then it knows that something's there and it goes on. Air fryers are basically a smaller fan oven. They're basically a hairdryer in a box. That's why they're called an air fryer, because it's a hairdryer in a box. I haven't got one of those air fryers. What does fried air taste like? Is it worth it? Well, it doesn't really fry air. It's just a little oven. It's a fast little oven. They're great. I mean, I don't have no problem with them. I think they're really good. It means that you can cook something a lot faster for a lot less energy. Boil stop is hot plates with a thermostat. Because of inductors. Induction hobs. Induction hobs. Why are we talking about induction hobs? Where did we get onto here? I'm completely lost. Maybe that's cute. My cue to leave. Okay, so I'm going to head off now. We're not going to do stateside tonight because I'm still supposed to be taking it easy for a few more days this week at least. We'll be back to our normal schedule on Friday, but until then, I'll be doing morning brews every morning. You know, get me out of bed. I love my air fryer. I've only used my gas oven once in 2 years. Says Big Man. Yeah, they're really good. Air fried sausages aren't too bad. I mean, they're pretty good. I've got to say, you know, as far as fads are concerned, I much prefer this fad to the coffee pod fad or something, you know. If an air fryer did actually fry, it would be far less healthy appliance, though. True. Yeah, don't fill it with cooking oil. Don't fill your little bucket, your metal bucket. Don't fill it with oil. That'd be a bad thing to do. I remember as a kid, Granny called a fart a Trump. Thanks to her, I can never take the American president seriously. Well, yeah, I call a Trump a fart. Same. I call Trump a fart. I call a fart a Trump. You know, I mean, do you remember when you had Dick Cheney and Bush and Colin Powell? His name was Colin, but he said, no, you got to pronounce it like arsehole. Anyway, right, I'm going to get going now. So thanks very much for watching this morning. Sorry I've been a little bit below par, I feel. But yeah, circumstances, my friends, circumstances. But do us a favour, look out for each other. If you can go into the Discord server, if you're a member of the channel, you should be able to get access to that. Head over there and have a chat with people and keep the conversation going. And look out for each other, because, you know, we're all hoping for the best, especially in this country and in Europe and in the same world. America, I think it's too late. But, you know, there are things that we can and should be doing to make our lives better and to make the lives of everybody better. And we're not doing them fast enough. It's as simple as that. And we really need to put pressure on the government that we've got at the moment, which will listen eventually. What's that line about America? It'll do the right. You can always be relied on to do the right thing after all the other options have been extinguished, or something. That's the Labour Party at the moment in this country. But yeah, if you've got some time today, write to your MP about something that you feel passionately about and tell them what you think Labour should be doing, because the backbenchers have a lot more power than, you know, the leadership would usually give them credit for. But they did derail the attack on disabled people. They derailed that. If we could get them to derail the attack on trans people, that would be a bonus. That'd be fucking amazing, to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to bring too many of my trans friends back to the Labour fold ever after this bloody nonsense. But, you know, get a little bit of the way there. Anyway, right, that's my time. I'm gonna head off now. So thank you very, very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock, bright and early. And until then, I'll say thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Oh yeah, hit the like button.